Hey, good morning, Grace Pasadena. Pastor John Stone here on a really difficult Tuesday morning devotional as we sit in the midst of our burning city, a catastrophe and a disaster. And we're thankful that so far as we know in our church, both among our members and our regular tenders, no one has died. But we have felt our neighbors lose their homes. We know that people have died. We know that our city is in crisis. And we don't know what to do. And it's just not easy to even know what to say as a pastor. But I will say a couple things and look forward to being with you this Sunday. Don't know what we'll preach on yet, but we will look forward to the time we can gather and pray and hurt. But let me just say two pastoral things and then read a short passage to at least reflect on. One, whatever you're feeling is okay. Some people will feel great fear and anxiety. There'll be trauma and denial and tears. But others may not feel as deeply about this horrific event as you do, and that's okay. In a time of great tragedy, in a time of trauma, you never know what someone's going to feel. And I would just encourage all of us to speak our feelings to God in prayer, to speak our feelings to one another, to not deny what we're feeling, our doubt or our pain. This is a 1,000-year event, and we don't know what to do with it. And secondly, don't shy away from being with people. You need to be with people. I know that some of you have been displaced far away, so I'm saying people there, but we need to be with one another. We need to pray for one another. Don't cut yourself off. And if you need something, please contact me or Ben or Jessica or Bernard or Caroline or Deacon or an elder. Please let us know how we can help. And we're going to give even clearer avenues in the future of how to serve. But let's at least think a little bit about a couple things. Jesus says in Luke 12, verse 32, "Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give to the poor. Provide purses for yourselves that will not wear out, a treasure in heaven that will never fail, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Couple things. Guys, we're sheep. In some of our impulses, not all of ours, but some of our impulses will be that we must fix this. But this is too big to be fixed. It will eventually heal. Katrina in my lifetime eventually healed. 9/11 eventually healed. We don't forget it. There's wounds in us. But even this will pass. But I just want to remind you that you're a sheep. And that you need rest even as you go serve. You need rest even as you dig your neighbor out. You need rest because you're a sheep. And it's just important to remember the impulse to try to save everything, that this is beyond us. We will go into our neighbor's house and love them. We will share our goods. We will give away our money and food on behalf of Christ for our neighbor, whoever they are, whatever they are, wherever they are. We will do that, and we will provide avenues for that. But we're a little flock as God's people. And there are moments in life and in history when we intentionally experience things we can't fix and that are beyond us. And this is one of them, where we feel like little weak sheep, and it's okay to feel that way. And I'm sorry we feel that way, but I just want to remind you that Jesus implores us not to be afraid. Now, this doesn't apply to the tragedy, but he encourages us to sell our possessions that we might store up for ourselves treasures on earth. And if there's ever been, I don't know that in my life, in my physical presence as I stood in my own backyard and wept as I watched neighborhoods burn, as I saw on news sources LA burn, I've never been more aware that all I can trust in is that Jesus came and died for me and heaven awaits me. As I stood in a ready to evacuate part, and many of you evacuated, you realize that your stuff is just stuff. And we want to rejoice that we have the loved ones, and that so far in our church we've not had anyone who's passed away. We may hear of someone. But Jesus reminds us starkly in this passage and in his really harsh providence that the only thing we can trust in is heaven, is him, is being with him. I don't know how to comfort all of you. I don't know what you're all feeling. I don't even know what I'm feeling. But I do know as I have lived through this with you, I look forward to continuing to live side by side. I look forward for us to go into Altadena and other places in our city and serve and give and lay down our lives. But it is worth reminding us that where our treasure is, there our heart is, and our heart is broken over LA. But we're also being reminded that the only thing we can trust in is Jesus. All of this can be taken away in a moment, and for many it has, and it's awful. But I would encourage us to look to Christ, to think about him. That we might then go love and serve our neighbors, that we might give our stuff away on behalf of our neighbors. And C, find our rest in an anxious moment in someone who's promising to shepherd us even in this. I love you guys. I look forward to being with you on Sunday. Let us know what we can do.